What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to another episode of Seahawks Now. The bad news this weekend is that the Seahawks officially missed out on the Micah Parsons sweepstakes. That's right, guys. The Seahawks are not going to be trading for Micah Parsons. That's because he went to the Green Bay Packers, who just became probably a Super Bowl contender overnight. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, they end up not getting him. Obviously, it's a bummer for me. I've been trying to say that I want Micah Parsons for so long, but alas, it didn't happen. And now Seattle is, we are left with what we get. Now, the good news is we don't play the Packers this year. If we were playing against the Packers this year, that game almost certainly would become a loss. Instead, the honor of having to play the Packers falls to the Cardinals in our division because we don't play the North. So it's the third place team from the West plays the third place team from the North from last year, which means the Cardinals, who obviously finished third in the West with 8 wins, play the Packers, who finished third in the North with 11 wins. Yeah, so tough for the Cardinals. They have to now play Micah Parsons. Seattle, actually, we kind of, you could say, benefit just by the fact that we don't have to play him anymore. We weren't going to have to play him in Dallas either. Of course, we do play the Minnesota Vikings, who finished second place in the North this year. But either way, when it comes down to it, $47 million is a lot of money. And that's how much, obviously, Micah Parsons got from the Packers. He got $47 million annually a year over the next 4 years. So he's getting, $190 million total. That's a lot. I mean, that is a lot of money to pay a guy. And I just feel like at some point, you have to just say no. And I think that's probably what John Schneider did. John Schneider probably did talk to the Cowboys about trading for Micah Parsons. He probably inquired about, is he available? He probably asked. But at the end of the day, when he is asking, Micah Parsons is asking for $47 million a year, that's more than you're paying your quarterback. That's significantly more than you're paying Sam Darnold. And I just don't feel like it's a smart thing to do. From a Seattle Seahawks perspective, I don't see how that is a smart idea to pay a guy $47 million. That would have put you over the cap significantly as well. So at the end of the day, as much as I wanted Micah Parsons, it's okay. I'm okay with it that we didn't trade for him, but it's a bummer. I mean, it's a bummer. He would have made you a Super Bowl contender, and now he makes the Packers a Super Bowl contender. And by the way, if you run into the Packers in the playoffs, now all of a sudden I'm scared. I don't want to run into Micah Parsons in the playoffs. Do you? Does anyone? I mean, come on. No, I don't think anybody in their right mind wants to run into Micah Parsons in the playoffs. So that's another one where you're like, it's a bummer. Hopefully we don't run into him in the playoffs. Hopefully the Packers do not have to play us in the postseason if we get there. But at the end of the day, $47 million, probably not worth it at the end. So it's fine. By the way, also the Seahawks missing out on Trey Hendrickson. The Bengals were listening to offers on Trey Hendrickson, but he is going to stay in Cincinnati. He just signed a new contract there. The Cardinals, taking a quick look at the Cardinals schedule, they would have played the Cowboys 6 days before playing us, which probably could have given us an advantage, if they were coming off of a game against Parsons and that ridiculous Cowboys D-line the week before playing us. That probably would have helped us out. Now, that is no longer the case. Now they play Micah Parsons and Green Bay 2 weeks before they play us. So probably not going to really benefit at all there, but that's okay. Again, this doesn't really affect us negatively. I think it could have impacted us positively if we did trade for him, but again, it's fine. So what that brings me to is, this is the team, right? Micah Parsons not coming to Seattle. Trey Hendrickson is not coming to Seattle. As much as I've seen these projections, these roster projections saying that, well, what if we add another O-lineman? Oh, we're going to sign a veteran O-lineman. Oh, we're interested in Dalton Risner. I understand that we might have brought him in for a visit, but at this point, we are 1 week away from opening day. We're not bringing in another O lineman, at least to start. Maybe at some point mid-season we do. Maybe we bring in a veteran at some point throughout the year. But this is with the team. And that's where I'm at right now. Like, okay, we didn't get the big trade. We didn't get the big signing that we were maybe hoping for. But here we are, right? I mean, we're a week away from kickoff. This is the team. Barring anything crazy happening, the team is set. The team is in place. So here we go, right? Here we go. Now is the time for the Seahawks. Now is the time for them to kick things into gear in practice. Now is the time for them to kick things into gear with the media. I'm starting to see that media push again. Colin Cowherd says we're going to win the division. Some people think we're going to be last place. That's what Nick Wright said. So, there's a lot of uncertainty with this team. I think some people believe a lot in Sam Darnold, think this team's going to be good, and some people who don't believe in him think this team's going to be bad. But here we go. Now's the time to prove it, right? The team's in place. This is the guys that we have. Which leads me to my last question. Can the Seahawks actually win it all this year? Because I've been saying for a long time, if we get Micah Parsons, if we get Trey Hendrickson, what if we get Terry McLaurin? What if we draft a quarterback in the first round? I've been going through all the scenarios. You guys know this. If you follow the channel, if you watch the channel, you know that for the past 6 months, I have been going through every possibility, every conceivable scenario, figuring out, does this help us get closer or further away from our goal to win the Super Bowl? Which is obviously our goal, right? Like, the average fan is going to witness 2 or 3 championships in their lifetime. I've only seen one so far. I want to see another one, right? I want to see another championship in Seattle. And that's what, at the end of the day, that's what we all want as fans, right? Right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's the fun of being a Seattle Seahawks fan, is that this team wants to win Super Bowl and you want them to win. So can we win it all this year with the guys we have on the roster, with the guys we have on the practice squad, with the guys we've drafted, we've signed, we've traded for, we've kept around? Can we win it all this year? I think the real question, because obviously the answer is yes if things go right. If Sam Darnold is that guy. If Cooper Kupp bounces back. If Jackson Smith-Njigba takes a step forward. If Kenneth Walker stays healthy. If Uchenna Nwosu and Boye Mafe stay healthy. If DeMarcus Lawrence stays healthy and is as good as he was last year when he was healthy. If Gray Zabel is the best rookie offensive lineman like he was in the preseason. Yes, we can win the Super Bowl if all those things happen. I think the better question to ask is, what are the chances? What are the odds? I want to pull up the Vegas odds really quick and see what they have to think. And I feel like that's going to put us at a good starting point. If you look at the Vegas Super Bowl odds to win the Super Bowl right now, the Eagles are first, plus 650. Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Lions, 5. Packers are now 6th. Rams, 10th. Cardinals 18th, and there's the Seahawks at 20th. Tied with the Cowboys and Falcons with 60-1 odds. What does that mean? They're going to win it in 1 out of 60 scenarios, which means Vegas thinks we have about a 1.6% chance of winning the Super Bowl. Do I think that's accurate? I think it's somewhat accurate. I would go a little bit higher, but I wouldn't go that much higher. I feel like we have about a 2% chance this year, which means definitely more than some teams and definitely less than others. I think that's fair. I think until we can see what the team can do, until we see things start to gel together and start to really click with this offense, it's hard for me to expect any more. But I do think it's possible if everything goes right. I'm putting it at 2%. That's just my opinion, guys. I want to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments. As always, leave a like, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Seattle Seahawks content. And until next time, as always, go Seahawks.